All right, so my husband took my son to go take a nap, so I am back. And if you're interested, so it's just become far easier to stream than to actually kind of like record myself doing whatever semi complex component that I'm doing, edit it down, do a voiceover. Like I think that's probably one of the reasons that I dropped off on making home assistant videos as much. But eliminating that process has definitely helped. So for some reason, this has started working again, which is great. It's what I wanted. And what will end up happening here is probably like a conditional card or something like that. But we were working on this bad boy right here. So we've got the room set up. What else? What was the next thing that I wanted there? I'm gonna hop all the way down to the end of it and start working on the temperature. I will come back to home and I'm just gonna copy this whole entire section and I actually want it right here instead of room button. This is gonna be weather button. Weather menu icon. Weather menu name. Left instead of 50%. Let's see what 25% comes out looking like. Don't think that's gonna be accurate, but of course, all your adjustments come later. Let's refresh. All right, so we can nudge that in. Don't know why I opened that. No, I always seem to refresh on the wrong thing. There we go. That's actually like perfect. So if here we're sitting 50, here we're sitting 30. Over here, we may be sitting 70%. Who knows? But just for the sake of parameters, let's go ahead and test us out. And what's that item that I'm going to have over there? Settings. All right. Let's see how we're looking. Looks pretty freaking sweet. All right, I've got my ends set up. So let's go back in here. Let's paste again. And between 50 and 70 is 60. And what room was this? This is alarm, home alarm, I guess. Or home status. And This is what I say, like doing your micro adjustments on like the first one really does help. Then everything else just falls in line a hell of a lot easier. In between room and weather. AC. So as you can see, like, man, this setup starts out feeling super complicated, but once we get going, it's not as bad as you kind of think it is. So we've got all that set up. Looks even, looks nice. Let's start replacing some of those icons. We'll start off with the weather first. And let's hop in here and see kind of what we have as far as options on weather. Our entity is weather.home. And that icon I want. Mm. Let's see how weather.home. Oh. Let's get to the right one. Rainy. And then icon state. So, what are some of our other options for states here that may give us a different icon, just so we can make sure that it's all good. Um, Here we go. Here's a partly cloudy. So let's set it to partly cloudy. From here to partly cloudy. We still have that rain cloud. Obviously, I wish I could change that those icons around. Of course, I have the wrong thing here. What else did I want there? Okay, I wanted my high and my low temp for the day. Let's just yeah, that's the actual element. and that can get deleted. So on a state element, I think we have to hop over to our state attribute element for this. I'm constantly hopping back in, checking repos, prefix, show empty. So yeah, I need to I need to get the attribute card, which I thought I had installed, but I didn't. It's a custom brand icon. Oh, okay, that's cool. Hmm. State attribute element. And install. Hop into the repo. Once again, if I can come to your repo and see an example that I can just copy, I'm very, very happy. I'm a very happy person if I can just do this. Um, and this right here is essentially the part that I want. And give me the name of and we're gonna go weather high. Weather dot home. The attribute that I want is hmm. Kind of want this, but let's just go temperature. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, there's like a template way to get all of the attributes. Let's see if I do this right. I feel like I am not about to do this right. Sometimes you hear me just stop talking, and it's literally because I'm thinking. Okay, and then I need to put a comma and then the attribute. Let's see if that's available or something. Nope. Let's see, how do I want to do this? What do I want to do? Am I gonna bring up anything here? Nope. Nope. Have I spelled everything wrong? I damn sure spelled this one wrong. Alright, so temperature would work as my attribute here. But I wanted like a list of all of the available attributes. So, we're given what the attribute we're using states that censor dot temperature. So state is state attribute, state is attribute. As much as possible to avoid errors. Seven results in error. Print out all of the censor states for state and states. For attributes. Print an attribute with state attributes if state is defined. Is there no way just to print out every single attribute and kind of what that title is going to be? Let's see. All right. Not sure how to get to exactly what I'm trying to get to, but nonetheless, custom element does not exist. State attribute element. Blah, blah, blah. All right. We have to go move some stuff around to try to get this to work. Oh, looks like I didn't have it added. That is really, really annoying. Let's see. Oh, and this is how I figured out that it's just easier to have it directly on the local, because when I went to double check the state attribute element, it was directly on local. So I also just put the other one directly on local because it just seemed like it was going to make sense. And it did. And community. I don't know where everything's installing at this point in time. Let's change it over to Hacks files. Control F for save. Everything here is module, but we'll see if that makes a difference here, and it very well may. Let's try to reload our resources here. So we're not listed. Still come over that error we did. Let's see. Set attribute element. This is usually where I just say forget it. Let's see if we can just get this JS file. Now, it didn't work with my swipe card, but when I tell you, this usually just works for me. Let's come back here. And Control Z this back to my local. Save it, and let's just reload. Still not existing. Let's try to change that over and try it again. Still giving me problems. Let's drop the version number off the back end. Alright. Fingers crossed. Still having a problem. So I can't always figure out what's going on from here. Well, most of the time I can't figure out what's going on from here. But sometimes I can. Custom element does not exist. State attribute element. And it's crazy. This is the one I can usually get to work. See. Says it has 2 open issues. So let's hope that I'm just doing something wrong. Try claiming my cash, someone said. Let's see. Nope, we're still not getting it. Oh, boom. It worked. We got it. Thank you to, let's see. See, to Charlie. Vanessa asked, what are you working on? So, the UI that I usually have with Home Assistant looks very different than what most people's UI looks like. Mine is extremely custom and has elements wherever I want them to be on the page. And I don't see a lot of people making their Home Assistant like that. So I'm just recording how I make mine this way. And at first I was like recording how I do a step, editing that video, trying to do a voiceover, and then uploading it. And it really just wasn't time efficient for me. Um, I'd record a whole video and then not feel like editing and then not feel like doing a voiceover, and then it just never end up being on YouTube. So I figured going live would be a bit more consistent. Let's see. And let's see here. So I finally got that little temp to work. So let's go ahead and see if I can drop it into an area where it looks better. Hey, Connor. 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 You want to go in the other room? Because they can hear you. All right. Let's drop this top down to like an 86 view height. Um, and also you get kind of a look of how I do my YAML, why I do it this way, how it gets formatted out. Um, it looks like I may need to go through and push everything else up a little bit. Yeah, so this is like the second live that I've done, and I ordered a headset microphone kind of combo. It just hasn't come in yet, so it'll get better. But I am definitely one of those people where if I don't do something when it comes to mind, then I'm not gonna do it. So I hopped on even without kind of the equipment that I wanted, just to start working on stuff. If I wouldn't have done it now, then it wasn't gonna happen. Um, let's see. Let me bottom my view height out to about 84. Let's push this one up to 80 and see if that gives me a bit of a better look. Um, if you see me right now doing kind of micro adjustments is what I tend to call them. Um, it's for me, it's better if I do these adjustments now when I come to an element that doesn't quite fit, and then just take that and apply it all the way down the board once I have everything kind of fitting how I want it to fit. Let's see if that goes to 36. If it'll all fit better. Did I actually change anything? And after I finish After I actually finish recording, then it all gets uploaded to YouTube. So, of course, you can come back and watch or see once it's done. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I think I want my cloud, my little icon up a little bit higher now. So 76. It's a little too high. View height is sometimes a better thing for me to use than percentage. And sometimes percentage is better for me, and sometimes it's pixel. If you see here, I've got percentage, view height. I don't know. Sometimes it's just easier for me to map out the screen that way. So this is pretty much the standard of how I'll be able to fit kind of a third line of information down at the bottom. And then even with that, I want one to be a high and one to be a low. So this one will probably need to go over to the left a bit more. I just haven't figured out how to grab that low attribute for the day just yet. So it'll sit there. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and push all the rest of these up now that I kind of have where it sits best. We got a 77 on the icon and an 81 on the actual name. So 77, 81. And I hope that was everything. Yep. Now keep saying the micro adjustments are frustrating, of course. But once you get it set, it's so much easier to just go down the line, make that adjustment for everything, and then keep moving. So what'll end up happening here is I'll put a tap action. So when I click this, it won't actually open up to this forecast. But I'll end up making an actual weather dashboard or maybe just a weather page. So when you tap that, it'll open up to the weather page that I want there, and it'll have the graphs and all that other cool stuff. Let's see. This one right here is going to be my AC, which we just moved into this apartment, so I don't have my AC hooked up yet. But I know it's coming. My only question for myself is usually if we have this and it spins, then it spins with AC spinning also, and I don't want that. But I can just try to find a fan by itself. There we go. So let's go back up to AC and my icon here. Let's just change that over to fan. This one here I don't need. And refresh. Boom, fan. And I'll kind of try the whole keyframes thing in just a moment because I really want to do that, and I haven't been able to successfully do it in a while. So I'm just making sure no one else has any question. As far as the air conditioned status, I don't have my AC hooked up yet. Need some suggestions on a smart thermostat for a central AC. The room button we've worked on for a minute, which is fine. The home status button, let's go grab the icon for that. Which, of course, for most people, just like me, is the shield. And this will even end up getting kind of played around with in just a moment. And we'll do shield outline. Let's see. And then the last one was the settings. I think cog is one. Let's see. If not, then I'll just go find it. Yeah. I want the outline. There we go. So we got a good bit of that base menu together. It's not exactly how I had it here, but I think it's decently close. Under here, no, under the AC, we'll actually have the inside temperature of the house. And now that I'm looking at it, I do think I want that snowflake outline instead. I don't know, just something about it I like better. Let's see. I'm always coming back to check. I don't care kind of what I add. I always want to come back to check just to make sure nothing got kind of thrown off kilter or anything. And all right. I think the next thing I want to work on, this is kind of going to be the phone or mobile setup once I get there. What do I want to work on next here? Let's start working on this home status. And that is actually going to be, close these state elements and all those cards, and input select. And here we go. Um, so everybody's home, everybody's away. I'm home, or my husband's home. Um, those are kind of how I want things. Oh, and guest. So this is not necessarily my alarm status, which is why it may come off of this line over here, or home status may be my third row down here, where this is my actual alarm status. This will tell me like who's actually home. I think I may want to do things that way. But okay, let's reload my input selects. And try to get that added in. So right now we're all home, which is great, and it fits. Let's hop back over here. Drop back down to home status. And one of the things that I really do love about Home Assistant, once I figured this out, was that I could really make this into whatever I want it to be. It's the weather that I have that third row on, and that's a view height of 84. And I think I dropped that down to 36. And I don't need an icon here. It really became pretty simple, time consuming, but simple to do something just that quick. So everybody's home. Now I'll start to match that up with different states of mine and my husband's phone. I have this pinned here, and it's just in the way. But I think I want this to be gray. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And other button, instead of this being white, let's make that gray also. And on the time up here, I added a font weight of bold. And I think I want that gray, but I want it to be bold. There we go. Let's see. And of course, always just liking to make sure that everything works. Let's duplicate this tab. And input home status. Or let's go over to service. I actually don't like how all this looks. I just don't like it. Um, I prefer it the other way where I just had drop down menus. I wish they gave me the option to go back to that. If they do, then let me know. So like even here, I have input select, I have home status, and then it doesn't give me the options that I had in home status where I can just select that. Instead, now I have to type something in, and that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Um, and I'm just making sure that this actually works. Set state, come back over, Ashley's home. What I want this to actually do is be the alarm status and not my who's home. So let's work on a little bit of logic behind that. I like to make my own kind of alarm functionality, I guess. So, let's see. I've not made a lot of automations or scripts, but let's go ahead and try out some of this new stuff. So I have this alarm status here that is mainly for, this is going to be like my clock alarm status. But I'm going to change that and boom. No, I actually won't. Not yet. Because if I remember correctly, I like to have this on a var template. And it's just easier for me. I already know that that one, well, I don't know that this one works. It was working. And I haven't gotten it to work yet again. But let's see if we can make it work. Time status. Mm, mm, oh, and then I guess unarmed would be error. So I guess I don't need that. So these are my options in my home alarm that I just created. And say if home alarm equals armed, then the status of alarm, home alarm will be, for now, we're just going to put armed. I know seems redundant, but right now I'm really just making placeholders for whatever I want to end up coming back and doing later. How many times can I loop an if else? And in var templates, I think like the tracked entities are like your input select home arm. or home alarm. Lord Jesus. I don't usually talk for this long, so my words will start to get jumbled. And then the actual, no one asked for this. No one asked for this. No one asked for this. Then the VAR home alarm. I know this seems extremely redundant, but I'm really just checking myself to see if I can get that to work. I think anytime you change the VAR, like add a new VAR template, you have to completely restart your system. So once I kind of mentally map out what I want to do, I try not to add like 50 million of those. I'll get like a couple of them together of what I want to do, post them up, and then leave it alone for a while. That way I'm just not constantly restarting my system. Let's see. Let's see. All right. My status is unknown. Hmm. This is where I feel like I'm slipping for a reason that I just don't get yet. Okay, so this one is connected to my input living room select. And if that one works so I can get it to work, then I should be able to get my other ones to work. So let's change this over to Cam's room. And let's see if my VAR, nope, my VAR template did not click over. So I jacked something up there. Let's see what. Friendly name X, initial value 0. Okay, I get all that. The set var service can be used to set the state or the attributes. So once everything gets set up, we're going to come through and add like our own attributes and all of that. But as of right now, I need this to change when something else changes. So essentially what we're trying to do is get the entity readout on this to change to, like, if the input select home alarm is set to armed, then I need this var home alarm to change over to armed. And right now, it's just not doing that. I need to figure out why. So I changed my home status to Cam for my son's room, and then everything changed to Cam. Let's come here on my home. And let's change that icon. Sometimes clicking around and playing with other stuff helps me kind of center myself on what I actually need to be working on. Don't ask. It's crazy. I know. Input select home status. Like a way to turn that off or something. I don't want to manage the extension. I just want you to go away. I'm sorry if I start mumbling. I just legitimately don't talk this much. That cleared out a whole bunch of stuff. Input select home alarm. So I need to be in my home status. Let's see when we just change that one thing. Okay. So when I hover over it, more info tells me, yeah, that's the home alarm I'm looking at right now. So then we're going to come down here. Change that also. Okay, armed. So as you can tell, like we're starting to get our correct information in the correct spots. This one right here should just say setting because it's not connected to anything right now. And I guess I'll change that to just text in a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to my own personal GitHub repo, and it's old and inaccurate. It's not what I have up right now, but it should. Let me see some of the other stuff that I've worked on. Like this is a previous home alarm that I worked on. This is my door open status that I worked on. And all of these things work. So let's see how we can get them back working. See how long I've been going. I've been going for about an hour. I'm going to take like a 10-minute break in just a minute and then come back. And I'm just going to keep doing this while I'm interested until my husband and my son wake up. Let's see. Yeah, We're going to take a quick little like 10 to 15 minute break and then come right back.